Hi Sajay. Sajay, are you asking something?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Actually, Thursday we have started the class, sir, but unfortunately you forgot that
Yes,
your
yes,
network is on.
yes.
Whether you will
Actually,
take the class today?
yes. Today we will take a class and know about how to connect my our Node application to MongoDB and all those things. In today's session, we will see how to get connected with MongoDB in Node application, and also we
Oh,
will
then Thursday class.
yeah. Where is other guys?
So I don't know, sir. We can wait for 5 more minutes for that.
Okay.
So what happened on that day, sir? You forgot to recharge your laptop.
Sajay, your voice is breaking. What?
Just a
What?
second, sir. I will rejoin it. Maybe tower problem as well.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Sajay.
Uh, Sir, I will rejoin the class once again, sir.
Okay, okay.
That's the tower. Yeah.
Hello, Shivam. Okay, let's just wait for a few more minutes to join others, and then we will start. Okay, let me share this screen now.
Sir, is my voice audible now, sir?
Yes. Now you're audible.
Yeah, okay.
So, are you asking something?
So are we continuing the class which should be take place during the Thursday, sir?
Okay, so today we will take care about the last session. Actually, the last session, something happened with my network at my end. So we will see those things in today's class. So in the last session, I'm talking about the MongoDB and how we can how we can include the data which is related to other data. Let's say, okay, uh, I need to I need to elaborate this thing. First, let me. So the thing is, let's say when we are talking about the relational database, so we have something, let's say, like the table and rows. So what happened that one column is connected to another. Let's say this is a user column, and here is something data about the users. Let's say name and email ID. And okay, let me just quickly erase this thing. Yes, let's say here is a defining the name of user, and here is defining the email. And let's say your website is about a e-commerce, your website is e-commerce website, and let's say some users bought something from your website, and now he want to give a review of products that are listed in your e-commerce website. So what happened that, so these users have another relational database which have a which have reviews, and here is something, let's say stars, whether he want to give a single star or double star. So it has another kind of table and rows where user can register themselves, their reviews for the products. So but this thing not happen something in MongoDB. So in MongoDB, like, okay, let me just uh, okay, this is not working. uh, so what happened in MongoDB here is not something that you need to create in another table to uh, to represent their reviews and stars for your products. Let's say a user bought something from your e-commerce store. Let's say a user bought a mobile phone. Okay, let's say user bought Samsung Galaxy Galaxy Pro, let's say. So user must have their name, and let's say user must have some profiles, right? So in MongoDB, it is not something that user need to have a total different database for their reviews and their stars for product. In MongoDB, you can do something like user, something like name, and let's say user must have email. So you can define the email of users. And now here is another one thing, that in MongoDB you can something stores like this. Let's say comment, and here is some comment about your products and stars. So here he can give 1 or 3 stars. So in MongoDB, it is the data is stores like this way. So in previous example, where we see that user in relational database, we need to have a different table and different column uh, for the reviews and stars. But when we are talking about the MongoDB, in MongoDB we can store the information of the products, like their product reviews and product, how many stars a product have. So we can store in a same array. So this is the difference that I talked about in the previous session, and we can do some.
முடிச்சது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க மெயில் போடுறதா சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. நீ இந்த மெயில் போட போற அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அந்த மெயில் போடணும் அப்படின்னு. சரி போட்டுருந்தேன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த நான் சேல்ஸ்
Hello, sir.
சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அப்ப சேல்ஸ் அப்படி மொத்தம்
Sujay,
முடிச்சுட்டு சொல்லு
are
இந்த
you saying
டிராப்
something?
பண்ண முடியாது. இல்லைன்னா அவங்க மொத்தம் மெயில் போட
Yes,
போறேன்னு
sir.
சொன்னாங்க. நீ அவங்க
Actually, can you open that
மட்டும்
Haha,
The
sure.
previous slide, sir.
Previous, previous, like this.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Actually, what you are trying to say is in a relational database,
Huh.
for each users, they will create a table or what, sir?
Right, right,
For for each separate users, they will create a separate table.
right. Uh,
Uh,
and
in
each
our
table have
MongoDB,
and each table have a relations, like that's why it is calling the relational database. Like this table has relation to this table, and we need to okay we need to create this thing, like a relation between the users and the reviews and the stars. But in case of MongoDB, we do not have something like this. Even we can create the same relation inside an array of objects, something like this.
okay, okay, sir, okay.
Okay.
So for each items, we will create a separate array, right, sir?
Right, right.
Hmm.
So this is a
So
very huh,
அதுக்கு தானே
in my
சொல்லியிருந்தாரு இந்த
understanding,
மாதிரி பண்ண
for
சொன்னதை
each project,
மெயிலாக
sorry,
நான்
for
வைப்பேன்
each users, we have one-dimensional array for each users,
right,
நியூ போட்டுட்டு
and the
இருந்தேன்
array will
பண்ணாம
be
ரெனியூ
stored in
பண்ணிருந்தேன்
one common array, a group of array, right,
right,
sir?
right. A group of not array, array of objects, you can
அதான்
say.
சொல்றேன் உனக்கு அவன் கூட கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ண முடியல செட்
Okay,
ஆகுது அப்படின்னா
array
சொல்லுவாங்க
of
நான் கால்
objects.
பண்ணேன்
Yes, yes,
No, sir. Array of object means it will store only one particular users. User
yes.
detail. So if you
Not
are
not
storing
users,
more
but
than,
more than,
if,
not for the one single users. I'm talking about the whole users.
அந்த டயத்துல அது அப்படியே
Okay,
can you
I
இல்ல
will I
explain?
will show in a
அந்த
code.
டயத்துல அது
Okay,
இருந்தா ஒழுங்கா
just
வச்சிருந்தா
give me a 1 minute.
இதை
I
நான்
can show you.
பிசினஸ் எடுத்துட்டு
First, let's just come into the console first. I'm just showing you by doing practically. Let's just say if I need to. Okay, let me just first start the uh, MongoDB shell, Mongo sh. So it will start the yeah. So let's say if I listed, if I want to see what types of database we have, so we have this, and let's say use ecom. Now I am inside the ecom, and let's say I just want to check my collections. So we have product and products. We have these two collections. Now I want to I want to see what kind of products list we have. So for query is db.products.find. Now here we have four products, right? We have four products, and let's say we want to we want to have a users who can comment on our some products. So the idea behind is, if we are let's say if we are going to create a relational database, right? So what happened inside a relational database is that something like this. Let me just show you quickly the db dot db dot, let's say I want to I want to take a product, let's say t-shirt. Yeah, let's say t-shirt, but this is my collection name products, and then So how can our database remember something about our product? So idea behind is that we have query something like this, and now let's say we can edit on behalf of the ID. Okay, so let's just take this t-shirt object ID, this, and now come to here, and we have to do something like this, right? And now we what we can do after this, we have another curly braces, and inside this we can put the operator of operators, and operator is set. And now here I want to create a comment. Yes, but first thing first, I need to make a create data here. And now I want to change a product, let's say user, right? And here we can give something like this, something like this is a good product. This is a good product. But this time we want we not only want the single masses. I also want the uh, rating of the product, right? So for this reason we can use the array, because here we want add more than one information at a time, right? So for this reason we would need to have a array. So what we can do here is we can, okay, uh, for a time being, let's just I already done the user and the product information over here. I'm not again going to add a product star, but we can do that by adding the array. So let's just hit the enter button, and here you can see that acknowledge the product and inserted id null, matched count 1 and modified count 1. Okay, let me just quickly clean the console again, and we can do something like this: products dot find. And here in this article you can see inside the product ID of the t-shirt. Now we have a user, and this user have a comment of this is a good product. Okay, so I'm showing over here only to add a single comment, but you can add more than one field at a time. Let's just say if we have another field, let's say the stars, uh, how many stars a user can give over a single product. So he can do something like this. Here he can make a array. Okay, let me just again show this screen. So so user can do something like this. If let's say user want to comment, and let's say want to add some stars. So in our MongoDB we can add the same thing, right? So the same thing I want to make sure that this relation database can do the same. I mean the MongoDB can do the same thing, but uses a less resources. in MongoDB you don't need to create another table and again again store the reviews and star fields. You can do something like this, right? This is the benefit of the MongoDB. Now let's just start today's session, and I want to start today's session by make sure that uh, whatever whatever uh, we study about the MongoDB. Now let's create today by doing some coding things, right? Till now we are doing okay. I think someone has commented out something. Okay, let me just quickly. Okay, Karan is here. Okay, Sajay, are you asking something?
Yes, sir. In the diagram, you have used two objects inside an array, sir. Correct.
Right, right, right.
But while you showing us lively, you
Huh.
just entered, but the key and value just
Huh.
entered the same object, right? So it didn't create a new object. No?
No, I'm not creating the new object. I'm just, let's say, if you have a user, right? If you have a user, you don't need to again create a user fields again and again. You need to just add their information, like what kind of information user want to give about your products. That's why here user is added here, giving a comment that this is a good product, right?
Oh, for one user, one
Yes,
single object, right, sir?
right, right,
We 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 don't want two objects for one user, right?
right.
Just being confused on seeing the drawing which you have drawn because in the drawing you have drawn two objects, so that's why I got confused.
Here you are saying this thing.
Before comments you have added yeah, inside array
uh,
you have object for same user ID. First
yes,
object contains email and username, and second object contains that rating and comments.
right.
So I thought
Sajay, your voice is breaking. I think you have some network issue or what. So you can write in the chat section. Actually, I'm hardly listening your words. Okay, now let's just quickly okay, wait for few minutes to join Sajay again, and then uh, we will start. I think he want to ask something, but some network issue was there. Hi, Karan. Okay, if Sajay come in between the session again, so we will again see the whole code in a quick shot. Let me just delete all these things. Okay, here we don't need so much things, so let me just quickly delete all these files. Okay, Now let's just say if we want to store or if we want to see whatever what kind of database thing is inside in our MongoDB. So how we can see with using our VS Code. Now let's just start. And before starting this session, I just want to make sure something that here we are just going to see how to do operation with the uh, with using MongoDB and doing code in our Visual Studio Code. So this is not going to use when you are doing your actual application, when you are working on an actual application, but it makes your concept very clear that how to use uh, how to use MongoDB query, right? So it is very important. So now let's just start this thing, and after this we will also learn how to fetch our data using Express, Node.js, and MongoDB. And after we will get a little bit pro in this thing. Okay, Sajay is now joined the class. Okay,
Sorry,
Sajay.
sister.
No,
That's
no,
how
it's totally okay. Okay, Sajay. I will clear your doubt after the session, or you can message me. So now just quickly start today's session. Okay. Actually, in today's session, I want to teach you two things. Okay, first I need to open this. So first thing first, we will see how to write a query inside our VS Code. So this thing will make your concept. So first thing first, we will see how to run query uh, using MongoDB query inside our VS Code editor, right? And this is not going to work in your actual application when you are dealing with the actual application. So you need to work with MongoDB, sorry, Mongoose databases. So what is Mongoose? We will also quickly see this thing in today's session. What is Mongoose? And now you may have a question, sir. If it is not very necessary, so why will see this thing in today's session? So this thing will clear your idea how to write query thing inside the Visual Studio Code. Cause till now we are running our query inside the Mongo shell, but right now in today's session we will see how to run query inside our Visual Studio Code. So after this thing we will jump onto the Mongo's database. Okay. So Mongoose is not something very different, but Mongoose gives some inbuilt things that makes it very powerful. Okay, I know that it will not very clear by just saying a conceptual thing, but when we will start writing some codes, this thing makes your idea very clear. Okay, so for installing MongoDB, for running the MongoDB query inside your Visual Studio Code. So first of all, you need to install MongoDB. So I already installed the MongoDB, but I just want to uninstall this thing and again install MongoDB because uh, I want to show you guys everything from scratch. So let's just quickly uninstall this. Yeah, now it is uninstalled. So in order to install the MongoDB, okay, wait for 1 minute. I need to answer something.
Hey Sanjay, Sanjay,
Yes, Karan.
Uh,
Yeah, tell me.
yeah, I'm saying that how many questions did you complete this?
okay, Karan. Please discuss all these things after this class.
Okay, sir.
So,
No, you were busy, so that's why I was asking. I will
okay,
ask
okay,
you later.
okay. It's totally okay. Now let's just quickly install the npm package of MongoDB. So you need to just write npm MongoDB. So the first thing, the first link comes from the npm, just right below after the MongoDB officials. So here is the package. Just click this thing, and you need to come here and then paste it inside your terminal. Now MongoDB is added in your application. Now you can use any features of MongoDB. So first thing that comes from MongoDB is Mongo client. So this is the inbuilt feature of MongoDB, which MongoDB is provide. So how you can use this? You need to just write the uh, data type, which is const, and we can we are taking some functionality of the MongoDB. So we can do something like this, require, and here is MongoDB. So the functionality which we are going to use is Mongo client. Mongo client. Here is the suggestion, right? Okay. So after this, what we need? We need to have a URL of our MongoDB. Okay, so if we are open the application, so here we have uh, okay, let me just quickly close this and again open the MongoDB Compass. Here you can see we have MongoDB localhost. This we have this URL, right? But when you are going to use this database, I mean this URL of the localhost 27017, you need to do some changes, okay? And changes is, okay, let me just copy this thing first. Here we are creating one more data type variable, which is const, and I'm going to give a name of URL, and here paste this thing up. But in MongoDB 27, in this localhost and newer version of 6.0 in MongoDB, so you can check some GitHub links where it is saying that when you are trying to connect your localhost 20 port number 27017, you cannot write something like this. So you need to edit something. like this. Your local host must be 127.0.0 and 1, and after this you have to define your port number, right? So this is the port number of MongoDB Compass
It is a default
27017.
port number or
It is the default port number. We are not doing any changes over here. If you are looked at, so this is the default port number. But in place of the local host, you need to write this. You need to write this 127.0.0.1, and then after giving a colon, you need to give your port number, right? So I'm not writing this like I'm not making these changes, but it is the officials of MongoDB that that give the advice to use this thing in place of localhost. Okay. So after giving this, what we need to do? We need to now use the Mongo client. And how we can use? For using Mongo client, we can do something like this. We define a variable which is client, and now Mongo client is a function. So how we can use a function? Using a constructor, and this is the constructor part. So we need to give a special keyword new. So Mongo client. So inside this, we can pass the URL, right? And now let's say I want to see all my data which is presented inside our database. So how we can do this? Now we can make a function, and I want to make a arrow function. Let's say the function name is get data. Okay. And inside this, the our get data function, we can uh, we can do something like this. So get data is a function, and I want to fetch the data which is presented inside our database. So anything which comes from our server. So in this application, our database base is our server, because data is presented inside our database, and we are trying to fetch that. So anything that comes from the server, it takes a little bit time. So in order to fetch every code of our application, we don't block our code, right? We don't want to block our code, and uh, for doing so, what we can do, we can apply the async and await things, right? So let's just I am making another variable, let's say result, and result will have a await, and we can connect our database using connect function. So this is a inbuilt function of this thing. The the connect is a inbuilt function of MongoDB. Okay, and I am using await, and it shows something error, and the error is we need to apply a sync function, right? Now the error is gone, and let's say we again define a variable which has a name of db. Db means database. Okay, so we can do something like result dot, and db. db is again a inbuilt function. So it is asked that which database you want to use. So we have two database. The first one is uh, no, we have many database. If we can open our localhost Bongo Compass. So here we have a database name as the ecom, and the second one is shopping cart. So I just want to open the ecom database. So for that reason, now we have to define over here ecom. Okay. Now we are defined the data of ecom, and now how we can use it. In order to use the ecom database, now we can do something like again define a variable. Let's say in this time I want to let's say res db dot collection, and the collection name is what, products. If you're not understanding this, so let me just quickly open this MongoDB client. If we are go inside the ecom, we have two collections. First one is product and second one is products. So this time we are going to fetch products collection. That's why we are writing over here products. Okay. And now what we can do, we can uh, we can apply the find method. So find thing will show whatever data is presented uh, inside the this database. It will show up, right? So or we can do one more thing. Not doing this thing like this way. We can have some special thing. Okay, let me just show you. We can again create a variable name as data, and this time we can write something like this, res dot and uh, res dot find, and we want this thing in a form of a good in a form of a string. So we can add to a string. And now let's just let's just print this thing, console.log, and then data. But still we are not initiated our function, so let's just initiate our function. Let's just save this and run this thing. Okay, let me just clear this thing, or we can do something like this. We already have a, okay, we don't need this. Here we can do npm run dev. So here you can see we can easily receive these products, right? If I scroll a little bit. Now you can see here we have all the products which is inside our database, right? So all the queries that we are running inside our Mongo shell, you can apply all the query like this way. We are doing the same thing like the collection and then the find method. We have we have everything same, right? Hello. Okay. But this is not a good approach. This is not a good approach when you are doing, let's say you have to add some products in your database, and let's say you need to update some products in your database, so you are not going to write this connection every time, right? So this is the file. I know that this is not, you can see that it will not so much of time, but when you are dealing with a big database, so it will take a whole lot of time. So let's say in your database you have a 5,000 of records. So those 5,000 records takes, let's say, 5 or 10 seconds. So it is, and we don't want that our database takes so much of time. So, in order to make our application that it takes a minimum time, so we can do one thing. We can have a single file which can connect the database, and now we have another like other files which can do the operation of the updating some data, adding some data, or deleting some data. But let's say if we are going to add every in every file uh, this piece of code, so it will take so much of time, right? So let's just quickly make this thing. Now this time I'm going to make a file of mongodb.js, and I need to bring the whole code to here. So let's just cut this thing and paste it over here. And this time I want to do module dot exports get data. Now here I am exporting this function as a module from here. So here is a here is a query that we are running over here, right? But we don't want this because we do the same thing but in a different file. So let's just quickly erase this thing, and also I want to return this thing, right? So we are returning collections, right? Okay. And this time, I mean, I'm just going to fetch all the data. So inside the index.js file. So we need the database connection, but okay, get data is not a good name. Let's say I want to give some significant name that represents its work, what it does. So let's say I want to put my file name as a db connect. Okay, and also we have to change this thing over here. Okay, now let's just save this thing and come into here, and let's say const db connect, and we want to require this thing. So here the db connect is coming from mongodb file. Okay, and here let's say we are going to make a file as a as show list show product is make sense, cause in this file we are going to do the same thing. Okay, so again we need to fetch the data. So let's say make this function name as a fetch product. This makes sense. Okay, uh, now we can we can make a variable name as a data, and now I want to connect this thing. Okay, so I want to connect with our database, but we are making it here as a await function, so we need to make our function as a async. Okay, now what we can do is, let's say data, and data will again have a await function. Why await function? Cause it takes a time, right, to apply the find method. So here we can do something like this, and also apply the toArray method. Okay, and now we can do one thing. We can console this thing, console.log, and then simply we put the variable name as a data, right? Let's just start this file, I mean initiate this function, something like this, and now let's just see, is it still working or not? It is still working. Why I'm saying this? Cause it is our mongo it is our okay, let me just, what happened, my trackpad is not working. Okay, let me just see one more time why this happened. Okay, actually in my trackpad uh, why this thing happened, it is still not working. Okay, just wait for 1 minute. Oh, why it is Actually, the thing is, I'm just taking the water, and some water drops are fall on my trackpad, and it is not working. Okay. Huh. Now it is start working again. Okay, let me just quickly. If I run my application, I'm so sorry for this, guys, because it is my fault. Actually, I was trying to drink some water, and some water drops are fallen on my trackpad. Okay, now just quickly run this application, npm run dev. Now here you can see the output is, it is like it is if I change the whole file and doing again the fetching the data, and it is still working, right? So this is the thing that you can do using the MongoDB package. Okay, guys, this is for today's class. Today's class is little bit shorter. So in next class, I will teach you about the Mongoose. Okay. Thank you so much for today's class, guys. Thank you.